If you want to learn to play Stratego and you have the modern version where the pieces look more like Halo figures, then this is the video for you. In this version there are less pieces overall. There's a total of 30 pieces per team instead of 40 like the older game, but there's a couple of new pieces. The object to the game is capture the opponent's flag, which is this piece right here. Each side will have one flag, and as soon as you capture that, you win. Kind of like in chess, if you get their king, you win. So even if you lose half your army, it's still possible to win as long as you get your opponent's flag before they get yours. Now most of the pieces, they have a number value, and that's how strong they are. As you can see, there's like a 10, 9, 8. It's all the way down to a 1. Each one, the higher number beats the lower number. But there is a couple exceptions here. Now there's a special unit right here, and it's called a spy with a S on it. If it attacks during its turn and it attacks a 10, it can beat the 10. However, if the 10 attacks the spy loses. And if it attacks any other number or object, then the spy loses too, except for the flag. Anything can take the flag. Let me see. The ones, these are probably the most special piece in the game, and they're the ones that are unique to this version. They're not in the original version. Now if they get attacked by other pieces, they would lose because they're ranked at a 1, but they're called a spotter, and I'll explain how that works once I put the pieces on the board for you. But they are a special piece. Now, speaking of the board, here's what the board looks like. When you place your pieces, you place them how I got the blues set up. There's 10 across, and it's 3 deep on each side. And you place them to where the back side is facing your opponent, so your opponent can't see what your pieces are. Most of the strategy of the game is figuring out what your opponent has and where they're positioned. Because you start out with the exact same pieces, so positioning matters a lot. But there will still always be an element of luck, because you're choosing one of 3 paths to attack, and you don't really know how they're set up. These spaces right here, you can't move inside of those during the whole game. So that also determines how you should set your pieces up, because they can't attack through there. They have to go through one of these 3 paths. So those are the areas you want to defend. Now, going back to the pieces, these ones right here, these are bombs. If anything attacks a bomb, that piece would blow up, and the bomb stays on the board, but the other piece is removed, except for these right here. The number 3, which is called a miner, if they attack a bomb, they can remove the bomb. So most people will want to have their flag somewhere where it's surrounded by bombs like that against the edge of the board. That way, if they don't have a miner up there and they attack it with something else, the other piece just dies and your flag is safe. There's also a strategy of just searching out the opponent's number 3s and try to eliminate their miners. That way they can't get to your flag so easy. Now when you set them up, like taking that example that I just did, you'd put your bombs around your flag like that. And then you'll position your other pieces all around the board too. There's the number 2s. The thing that's special about them is they can move like a rook in chess, which means they can move as far as you want in a single direction, or all the way up and attack that piece in the same turn. Every other piece, they move 1 square each turn, like that. They cannot move diagonal, no piece can. And you can't jump over your pieces. So say if I had a 5 there and a 2 here, you cannot jump over them to attack. You have to go like that and go around. Okay, let me see what else. If you have 2 pieces that are the exact same value and they attack each other, then both pieces are eliminated. Like this, you normally wouldn't see that, but say blue moved their piece up here and attacked, you both reveal to the opponent what your piece's value is. If they're both the same number, then both pieces would be eliminated off the board. The 2s, they're pretty weak. The advantage is that they move far. So you want to use those as scouts. That way you can figure out what your opponent has and get your more powerful pieces into position to take them out. Let me see what else. Okay, the 10 and the spy. Normally what I'd do, I'd have it set up somewhere where there's a 9 in one of these exposed areas, you know, where your opponent can attack, and have your 9 because it's pretty strong and it can take out a lot of your opponent's pieces. But I suggest keeping your spy near your 9 because what's going to take out your 9 is their 10, and that's the one thing the spy can take out. So that way if they attack with the 10 and they end up right here, then you can use your spy and take their 10 out. Let me see. The turns just rotate. Red always starts first, like in chess how white always starts first. In this game red always starts first. There's a few different ways you can set your flag up too. A lot of people like to set them up in the corner like that because then it only takes 2 bombs to defend your flag, whereas when it's out here it's taking 3 bombs to defend it. It is possible to put it up front like that because most people expect you to have your flag in the back row, so when they break through they're going to go straight to the back row and go across back and forth looking for your flag. But that is kind of risky because if they attacked with a miner and then they go to the side, then you already lost. There's another way you can go like that and then just have multiple bombs in a row if you want, like this, and then you have 3 places that you can choose to put your flag where it's still defended by bombs. If you're going to do something like that for decoys, it's a good idea in these other spaces to put your 4s. You don't want to trap a really strong piece since you can't hop over your bombs. Those pieces are pretty much trapped there. But a 4 is a good choice because their miner is a ranked 3, so when they finally do get through that bomb and they're thinking that's your flag, then you can attack them with a 4 and you can take their miner out, which is a good tactic to try to eliminate their miners, because if you can get rid of all them it increases your odds a lot of winning. Let me see. Now these ones, the number 1, the spotters, their special ability is they can kill anything in the game. But there's a special way of doing it. Okay, so I don't know where the strong pieces are of the blue. Let me see. Okay. Say they moved up here and they use their 10 and take out the 5 and they're up there. They're feeling pretty confident because their 10's powerful, and say they took out the red spy already. So they're thinking he's invincible. Well, once he gets there, on the red's turn, as long as you know what that piece is, you could say I spot that a 10 and it would take their piece out if you're correct. Now if you're wrong, nothing happens because he doesn't actually move into their space by doing that. He stays in his space. So even if you're right, you still stay in your space with your spotter. He doesn't move. You can move him on your turn if you want, but when he attacks like that, he doesn't move. So you want to be right though, and the way you're right, you just have your cheaper, weaker pieces right next to him. That way when they attack they have to reveal what they are, and on your very next turn you spot them. So it can also be useful to go like that and have multiple pieces lined up right there. That way if they killed him and you spot him, they know your spotter's there, so they want to take it out, but you can move another piece there. And then if they attack that, then you'd know what their piece is again, you can spot them and continue to take him out. So he's good for defense. I wouldn't really advance him too much because he gets killed too easy. There is one thing, a lot of people tend to have him back here, which is what you don't want to do. And the reason why is he has this open lane in front of him. So if you do this same example, they attack with the 10 or whatever number they happen to have and take him out. And then you spot him and remove him. Now when they know that's a spotter and the lane is open, if they happen to have a 2 in that lane, then it can move all the way up and take out your spotter. That's why you don't want to do that. That's also a reason, whichever side I'm attacking on, with my strong pieces, I usually have a 2 behind them somewhere. So if as they advance, if they take them out with a spotter and it happens to be in one of these rows, you can take your 2 from back here and advance him all the way and take out their spotters. Because their spotters can also take out the bombs, because they can spot at a bomb. So if you can eliminate their miners and spotters, and your flag is still back here, guarded by bombs, then it's impossible for them to win, because they'd have nothing left to take out your flag. So sometimes the game can end up a draw too, because of that, if you both lose those pieces and there's no way to get to their flags. There's only one more rule that I know of, and that is you can't move the same piece in the same places 3 times in a row. And that's like late in the game, say when most of the pieces are eliminated. Say, well, whatever piece they happen to have. I don't know what. Okay, say one person has a 10 and the other one has a 9 left or whatever. You know, late in the game. I'm just having them face this way so you can see what they are. And say this area is empty. And then say they're over here and the 10 goes like this because you want to take out the 9. So they move like that, you move up here, they move like that. It'd be a never-ending game. And it'd just be until someone gets bored enough and quits. So you can only move like that 2 times. You can't move 3 times in a row. So in this example, if you go like that, that's 1, 1, 2, 2. Now you cannot move here on that next turn. You have to choose a different path. If you go there, you know, then they'd move out of the way. But they have that rule just so it's not 2 pieces going back and forth over and over until one person just gets bored and quits. So that's just intended to keep the game fun and competitive. Now the total pieces, there's 2 spotters in the game. That's a number 1. You get 5 of the number 2s, 5 of the 3s, which are your minors. There's 2 of each of the 4, 5, and 6. You'll have 1 7, 1 of the 8s, 1 of the 9s, 1 10, and you get 1 spy. And then you have your 6 bombs, and there's 1 flag. So that's your total number of pieces for this game. It should total 30. And you start out in these first 3 rows, 10 across. Your spy, even though he's meant to take out the 10, but sometimes he can be helpful just to leave him somewhere. Even if you have him back here and you never use him, he's still helping you out as long as he's alive, because then they're a little more cautious with their 10. They don't want to advance him because they never know where your spy is that could take him out. Now if you can somehow take out their 10 and take out their spy, then you got a real powerful piece, your 10, that you can move around, and their spy and 10 can't take him out. The only chance would be the spotters. So pretty much the goal is to be up by 1 strong piece. If you can take out their 9 or 8 or whatever the case is with your spotters, then it helps you out and you're ahead. Because the 7 through 10, there's only 1 of each of those, so the goal is to take those pieces out. I can show you how I had the blues set up. I messed them up a little bit, but he goes there. Let me see. Trying not to spill it here. Let me set this down a little bit quicker. Usually it takes a while to figure out and decide where you want your pieces to set up. So once you get a couple of setups going that you like, before you actually start the game and move them, you might want to do what I did, like this. And you just make a note card with the rows, the 3 by 10, and then write down where you had all your pieces. And then, you know, do it again down here and a couple times on the back. That way you have like 3 or 4 setups. That way it don't take you so long. Every time you want to play, you can just pick one of your setups. And of course, after you've used all of them against the same person, you'll have to figure out new strategies, because they'll start remembering where your stuff is. Now, see, this is the one setup that I'm showing on here. I don't want to show them all, because then everyone will know how to win. So that's how I set up all the pieces. Over here I put the 2 bombs near the corner so it can be a decoy. That way they think your flag might be there. When they use the miner, you use the 4 to take out one of their miners. Up here I have the 9 up here, so it's strong and can take out most things that they'd advance with. And then the spy next to it, so that way if they kill it with their 10, I can take their 10 out. Another reason why the bomb is here is they can't get past there without a miner, which the 9 could take out. So if they got here, they pretty much have no choice. Either they gotta have a miner that could go there, which my 9 can kill it, or they gotta attack the 9 to try to get inside of here. So that works out to defend that corner pretty good over there. Then on this side, where my flag actually is, I still have the 2 bombs there for a decoy with the 4 inside to get their miner. I can use this scout if I wanted to see what they got going over there, or I can just leave him there until they attack. And then the 6, he's pretty good. The whole goal of the 6 being there is for them to choose something more powerful to attack him, which would be the 7, 8, 9, or 10. And then if they advance it this way, they'd blow up on a bomb and lose their good piece. Or if they go this way, then I got my spotter there to get rid of their strong piece too. Because my goal is to get rid of their pieces that they only have 1 of, which is the 7, 8, 9, and 10. That way you have an advantage, then you can start attacking. My attack is designed to be in the center in this setup. So I have the 2 scouts right here that can move all the way across to figure out what they got going in the center. If they have bombs, I got my miners right there. If they don't, then I got my 6 and 10 to go advancing up there. If they have something strong and they're advancing, my 6 would eventually move like this over to this side. That way if they take him out with something strong, my spotter can still get him. And that's why I still have all these pieces, so I can advance them up and set them right next to my spotter so he can continue to defend. And my 10 going there, it could kill just about anything too. And the weaker pieces, what they are, is just to figure out what they got. Just so that way I don't make a mistake with my 10 and get killed by their spy or a spotter. That's what all these are for. Other than that, my 10 is meant to take out the pieces there, even though I'd sacrifice these to keep him safe. I still got the 7 and 8 as backup. I could advance them through here also, if you don't want to use your 10. Because you can use your 10 to defend this area too with the flag, because he's really strong. So that's just one setup. But you can figure it out, and the more you play it, the more ideas you'll have. One thing you really don't want to do, a mistake that I made that made it very difficult to win one of my first matches, is the bombs. You don't want to go like that 1, 2, 3 vertically, because then it would wall it off with this area that you can't move in, and it kind of separates your pieces, because then you can't get over there if you needed to defend your flag, or if they had a really weak area up there but you can't get your strong pieces there. So you don't want to do that vertically and block yourself off. You want to make sure your pieces could go all the way, or at least during 2 paths out of the 3. I hope this video helped. If I ever get the original version that has more pieces total, the 40 pieces but no spotters, then I'll try to make a video explaining that. Have fun.